first batter he faces to start the fourth is Wenzel Perez, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And Tang delivers. Breaking ball that's called a strike on the lower half to make it 0-1. No runs, no hits for either side in this top of the fourth inning, which is rare because a lot of runs have scored early in the series. The 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle towards second base. Off the glove of Whiteman, who is right behind the bag, and it goes into left field for a base hit for Wenzel Perez. So a bouncer that Whiteman was there for extended his arm out, but then all of a sudden just hit off the top of the webbing and into right center field. That's the first base runner of the ball game. And Perez with the first hit of the ball game too. Now brings up another left-handed hitter, Colt Keith. Perez, Keith, and Witherspoon all struck out against Tang to start the ball game. From the stretch, Kaiway delivers. And that misses up and away with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Colt Keith with a .333 average and 2 home runs on the season. Also 9 RBIs. Yesterday was a good day at the plate for him. He went 3 for 4. 1-0 pitch. Misses inside. Keith walks away from his batter's box. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Yesterday, Keith had a 2-run homer in the second inning. All the scoring for Erie was over the first 2 innings. And they won it 4-3. Here comes the 2-0. And the breaking ball dropped in for a called strike. Tang up to 35 pitches so far. Great production, though. 26 of them have been for strikes. A 2-1 count for with a slider on the inner half. 6th strikeout of the day for Kaiway Tang, and there's the first out of the 4th inning. Another strikeout for Tang and another donation from Virginia Credit Union to strike out hunger. So 1 gone in the 4th inning. And the next hitter for the Seawolves is Grant Witherspoon. No score, top of the 4th. Here comes the pitch. And that misses low for ball 1. There is a pitcher warming up in the Richmond bullpen. Looks to be the left-hander Nick Swinney. 1 ball and no strikes for Witherspoon, Colorado native who grew up in Littleton. Pickoff throw over to first base. Close, but not in time. Perez able to get back to the bag. Witherspoon was drafted by the Rays in the 4th round back in 2018 out of Tulane University down in New Orleans. The 1-0 pitch. Missed outside. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. First year with the Tigers organization. He was traded from Tampa to Detroit right at the end of spring training. So far with the Seawolves, 13 hits with 5 RBIs and 5 walks. He swings and misses at the 2-0 offering, but is still ahead at 2 balls and a strike. Last season, he bounced from AA to AAA between the Montgomery Biscuits and the Durham Bulls. Most of his time was in AAA. The 2-1 pitch misses outside, and it's a hitter's count of 3 balls and 1 strike. Tang goes back on the rubber. Eyes in the sign from his catcher, Patrick Bailey. Now set at the belt. A pause on the mound, the pitch. That missed inside, and I think it hit Witherspoon. Hit his back foot as the ball bounced up in the air and over towards the Seawolves dugout. So 2 base runners on for the Seawolves now as Perez moves up to second. And Witherspoon reaches first on the hit by pitch. And breaking ball just went in and the back foot. And Witherspoon reaches for the first time tonight. So 1 out with Jake Holton at the plate. Runners at first and second for the Seawolves. The set by Tang and the pitch. Just missed outside, ball 1. You can still have the opportunity to bid on the specialty jerseys that the Flying Squirrels are wearing tonight. Make sure to visit rvarivercity.givesmart.com. The 1-0. Called a strike on the inner half, and it's evened up at 1-1. Really cool look for the first specialty jersey of the year. Shout out to Hunter Glotz for his work in making these jerseys. Ball and a strike for Holton. As Tang looks back to second, the pitch. Called a strike on the inner half. Good bounce back slider from Tang, and he's ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Holton was a strikeout victim in the second inning. Tang led off the ball game with 4 straight strikeouts. Time is called by the catcher Patrick Bailey right before the pitch call. Holton, who is batting .205 on the season. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fooled him with a slider. And there is strikeout number 7 for Tang. So 2 gone here in the 4th inning, and it's Mario Feliciano coming up for the Seawolves with runners at first and second. And Fans Plan RVA wants to remind you that one piece of litter may seem small, but it's a real issue with big impacts on streams, rivers, and our entire community. Tang delivers home to Feliciano, and he swings and fouls it off. It takes all of us to fight against litter in RVA. Take the pledge to not trash Central Virginia at don'ttrashcentralva.org. No balls and a strike for Mario Feliciano. Goes into the stands for an 0-2 count. Feliciano hitting .256. Yesterday for the Seawolves, he went 2 for 4 with an RBI single. He has a runner at scoring position, but is facing an 0-2 count. Kaiway with a pitch. It sails to the backstop on the fastball, and that advances the runners. A wild pitch by Kaiway Tang. It was way over the head of Patrick Bailey, who leapt up to try and receive it. So Perez moves up to third base. Witherspoon goes to second. That's the first wild miss that we've seen from Tang pretty much all year. He's been consistent through his first 2 starts of the season and has looked good tonight. Comes set of the belt, looks at the runner at third. And the 1-2 pitch. Missed outside. And it's now 2-2 for Feliciano. Pretty calm night at the Diamond. The sprinkles have stopped, and it's just overcast conditions here in Richmond. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Feliciano. Tang delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another off-speed pitch from Kaiway Tang, and all 3 outs in the 4th come via the strikeout. Kaiway strands runners at second and third. We move to the home half of the 4th. Still scoreless in Richmond on Sports Radio 910 The Fan and 105.1 FM.